Welcome back to 843 TV here at Encompass Health, where we are hearing some stories of a remarkable recovery with two former patients, Bob and Clint, who shared with us what you all have gone through and the remarkable recovery and care you've gotten here. The core values are important to Encompass Health. Sets the standard, lead with empathy, stronger together. What one of those or more of those stood out to you during that time?
I think the two that I can address are the empathy and stronger together. From the staff from the beginning coming in, for everybody that works here. So, obviously as a patient, empathy is like a good thing.
Yes.
So and that's just the way they are. I didn't have one feeling like you could just say I would rather not have this person but that person. Everybody who took care of me was great.
Well, I sense that from both Clint as well. You're talking about, I think it's interesting where when you arrived, you couldn't even get out of bed, and from a fractured leg, and now you were able to walk and get in your car and drive away. So how does that work with you and the core values here as well?
Well, certainly, as Bob said, the empathy, the people that you worked with in the physical therapy was just incredible. You weren't here more than a few hours before it was like you were part of family, really. These folks are just great in understanding what your situation is, and that's something we really haven't talked about. When we got to the point where we were doing physical therapy, they already knew your backstory. They knew everything that they needed to do, and that's what they were working to accomplish, to get you to the point where you could leave here. The empathy was very strong, no question about that.
Bob, you mentioned something very important, is they got your wife prepared as well for when it would be time to release you.
Correct.
And that is a huge thing. Tell us a little bit about your experience with what your family experienced as they got ready to have you back and take care of you at home.
Well, probably not quite to the extent that Bob's wife, because he had the multiple injuries where I had one thing, but my wife was very aware of what my capabilities were when I was ready to leave, and what she needed to be looking for, and then going on to further physical therapy that I had to do afterwards. But the base was set here. The possibilities of doing the right things later on were only because of what was done here.
Well, we're actually sitting in the physical therapy department in the room here, and both of you have spent a lot of hours here, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. So as I look at all this amazing equipment that we have, is there something here that really resonates with you, that was something that sort of helped you get forward, move on with your life? Is there one piece of
I was going to say one of the there's a lot of different kind of equipment here. But there was how to get in and out of a car, and they have a simulator. For me, the problem was with a back brace on and a neck brace, how can I physically get into the car without doing harm to myself or pain? So that they have adjustments. They could, when you knew the height of your car, they can adjust that, and then it's how to get in and out of it. And I had to do that successfully. As I was saying before, women, for me, it was, I had to get in backwards. It was just like if I would have a dress on, okay, it would be to open the door and then back into the car, and then to swing my legs over so that I'm moving everything together. And it's things like that obviously made it a whole lot easier.
Just the normal everyday things you've got to do, that you've got to get back into life, and that was a great transition.
It's such a simple concept that we forget these things,
Right.
and those are and that's the bring yourself back to living a life of independence.
And
what about?
I was going to say one of the other things that they did too with Judy and myself. Judy brought all pictures of our house, because we have a one-story home, so that made it easier. Stairs would have been at that time very difficult for me, although I did stairs here. So they were trying to make sure that when I get home, it was going to be the easiest possible way. You know, you have hospital beds here, we have a king-size bed there. You know, the showers that are here are much bigger than, let's say, the showers that we have at home, and how to go through that process, how to get me dressed in the morning, how to put the back brace on, my neck brace, how to take them off if I was to go into a shower, how that process worked. So it's that kind of training, that kind of thing to make it comfortable for both Judy and I, because we're in our 70s and everybody here is not, you know, a whole lot younger.
We enjoyed hearing your stories, and we wish you all the best in your continued recovery, and we're going to talk with Renee in just a bit.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
And we're back with Renee, and you know, it's interesting, I love talking to the gentlemen about their stories, and here we are at the hospital, we have discovered the possibilities. What can you tell us for a closing remark?
Absolutely. You know, Catherine, it was so great hearing from them, and you know, we want everyone to know that we're here for the community.
Well, thank you. This is 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.